This module addresses communication skills along with some other related soft skills. Having strong communication skills is essential in all aspects of life. Some other skills that build off of communication skills include collaboration, problem solving, leadership, and conflict resolution. Most of our communication today, for school and work, takes place through email. Make yourself aware of proper email etiquette. Some of the important elements include how you address the person you're contacting. Always use appropriate titles. Don't use first names or variations on their first name unless they tell you to. If you're unsure how to address someone, look at how they sign off on things. When emailing an instructor with a question, be specific. Don't just contact them and say, "I have a question." Actually ask the question. It will ensure that you get an answer quicker. Always use proper grammar. It helps to avoid confusion. And check your course materials first. Frequently, the answers we're looking for have already been provided, but we've overlooked them. Don't take on an accusatory tone, and always accept responsibility for your actions. Be proactive. This is especially important when there are issues. If you're having trouble in the class, let the instructor know when it first starts. They can help. If you wait until the last week of the semester, it's frequently too late. The same goes for when you realize you can't meet a deadline. Talk to them before the deadline, not after. And remember, when speaking with someone, to listen. Too often, we listen to respond. That means we're already forming our response well before the person is finished speaking. Listen for content, what they are actually saying instead. Then you can ask for clarification if you don't understand something and respond accordingly. Use body language, especially when you're in person or on video, to show you are paying attention. Things like eye contact, nodding, and facial expressions. Show the speaker that you are listening. Unless you're planning on life as a hermit, you'll have to work with other people in some capacity. Having the ability to communicate is essential, but there are some other things to consider. You have to be an active participant. After all, you only get out of things what you put into them. Set personalities aside. Often, whether in a classroom or at work, you'll have to collaborate with someone you don't like, and that should not interfere with the final product. Be open, and you might be pleasantly surprised. We're touching on creative problem solving only very briefly here. As obvious as it may sound, you first have to understand the problem, really understand it. If it's very complex, break it down into smaller parts. Then you can address these smaller parts before revisiting the big picture. Look at how others have solved similar problems. What worked? What didn't work? Look beyond the obvious and get input from other people. It's important to know that being a good leader is not merely telling people what to do. Instead, it is recognizing your team's strengths and weaknesses, allowing your team to play on their strengths, and giving them opportunities to turn their weaknesses into strengths. To do this, you need to listen. You need to accept failures and view them as opportunities. Then you can all succeed. All of us experience conflict at some point. It's important to know how to address and resolve it. Communication skills, both your own expression and your listening skills, are vital. Try to keep personalities out of it. Remember that you can resolve issues with someone even if you don't like them. Know when to reach out to others. They should serve as mediators and not add fuel to the fire. Sometimes the most important thing to know is when to walk away. So some things to keep in mind about communication. No matter what aspect of your life, strong communication skills will serve you well. Being proactive is important, clarity is vital, and remember that listening and reading are just as important as speaking and writing.